What is good, YouTube? Yu-Gi-Oh vendor here with a deck profile on Going Second Sky Striker. Plays different. I had to build it a little different than the 1.0 version. Some people like this one the most because it has a lot of interruption and it really hurts your opponent and stop them from being able to really make massive boards or gain a lot of advantage. So that's why a lot of people just play the Going Second build, but I won't give y'all my take on it and show you my extra deck. I'm not going to show the side because I never really do, because everybody locals is different. Plus there's no major events anyway really compared to what it would normally be. So Triple Ray, this card is iconic just because this deck has been good so long. Last YCSs, this deck has topped the last one in USA, not the last one, but the other one. And a lot of it has to do with Engage, but a lot of it has to do with Ray being Bay. Look at her. Prismatic Rays are amazing. You got to get the Rose. I play the one Rose just because you don't want to see her as much as Ray. You want to see Ray more than her. She does come up where she can negate Ray. She does come up where she can do a little extra damage. And she do come up so that way you can get your link plays going. So it's still important to have another name and another target. And I think that in Going Second, you only need one Rose. So I play the one Rose. Also play Triple Ash. This is the best hand trap, hits every deck still to this day. And if you got a card that can really stop your opponent and you can back it up with other cards, it just makes it really, really hard for them to be able to play. Same with Bell. I think this is probably the second best just because every deck is graveyard based basically now, or they're trying to set something up or bring something back, and that makes Bell amazing now. And if you can't use Bell, you can use Meister and Bell just because this is popular in Sky Striker, especially Going Second builds. Just being able to stop your opponent for building a board or making a board or even just trying to gain advantage. Having Bell and Meister helps in that case just because that's what this format is all about. Veiler is very good, not only for the Celine combo when you bring it to go in access code for game, but the fact that it can negate monster effects, and that comes up a whole lot because the whole game now is either graveyard or using a monster effect to be able to gain advantage. And obviously Veiler will stop that. I played triple in this version just because you want to have one in deck for needle fiber, plus you want to be able to draw it so you can stop your opponent, so that way you don't have to use your other hand traps or Widow Anchor all the time. And you do want this in Widow Anchor too, so that way you can slow down your opponent even more. I played the one Pankratops. This is for Floodgates. I played this in the original. I played this in Going Second. Having a monster that can attack, having a monster that can blow up Floodgates, having monsters that if you negate them and you can blow them up is even better. So Pankratops is versatile. It really helps you break boards and it gets the Floodgates going. Sky Striker, Airspace. This basically allows you to see other Sky Striker cards or your Ray or your Rose, which allows you to play. This is the best card to me just because it stops monster effects, and the fact that you can take control of a monster, link climb and stuff like that just make this one of the best well-rounded striker cards in the game. I'm glad that it went up to 3 just because it just makes the game a lot easier for striker players and allow us to continue to gain advantage or get advantage over our opponent. Shark Cannon, amazing. Just if you don't want to use your Meister or your Bell, you can just hit them first with this and save them when your opponent tries to go off or try to come back, and this gives you another interruption. One of each, one for monster destruction, one for spell destruction. The thing that makes these amazing is not only are they searchable and recurable because you can always get them back with Widow Anchor and your link Kagari. You can just pop a monster, pop a back row with either one of them. So they both come up and they both are ones that you want to be able to have in your deck just because it's toolboxy. Engage, the reason why the deck is good again, the ability to search any Sky Striker card while also being able to draw multiple times in a turn just make this one of the most consistent and toughest decks to beat once it get going. And a lot of it has to do with multi-role, being able to reuse your spells and be protected just makes the card crazy. And the fact that you can take control of somebody's monster and just send it to the grave just to get advantage off of it just makes it amazing. I like one Eagle booster just because I want to protect the access code. I want to protect the Celine, so that way when I'm going into combos or trying to finish off for opponent, I can either protect it, or if I know they're trying to hit it, just have this as a backup plan, just if they don't see it coming or know I have it set. Plus it is recurable with Widow Anchor because it's a quick play, so you can use it on your turn or their turn and then use it again just in case you might need it for something else. Also, it's good in the mirror match, as we know. Same with this, you can use it offensively, defensively, or just use it to be able to go back into your links. I play this just because I don't like the banishing 10. I think every card in this deck comes up or you might need it, so either you want to search it or reuse it, but you don't want to banish it just to draw 2 cards. So I go more with the safe way. Plus this way just puts more spells in your grave, so that way you can use your spell second effect, terraforming, Rhoda to search the cards, fill spell, and Ray and Rose, call by the grave. I love this because you want to get your Kagari off, you want to be able to get your Shizuku off, and this card allows you to do it while also being basically the third shark cannon, because it can also banish on your opponent's turn or your turn, just in case they put something in the grave you want to get rid of. In mine, I look at this as another, card to be able to get to your other cards, because if they don't out it, you just continue to gain advantage or be able to play in the future. So even though they have to out it, if they don't, you just continue to build up advantage basically. And Sky Striker is a deck where you only need to see 1 or 2 cards to get going, and this card allows you to have a chance to do that. And then Imperm, you got Valor, you got Widow Anchor, you got Imperm to slow down your opponent, to stop them, and just make it real hard to out resource you, because this deck is toolboxy. Triple Shizuku, this is my favorite one. Get you whatever you need, defensive card, but it's very powerful. Kagari still have 3 different versions of the card, but it's the one that gives you the adrenaline, gets you a monster that can attack over a lot of stuff, or just get your Sky Strikers back to spell cards to your hand so you can reuse them. The Dumper is Hayate. Still comes up where you poke for damage for time, or just poke for damage for game, or to do extra damage and, being able to attack without worrying about getting negated or anything. Zeke comes up when you want to take a monster and link it out, or link out into this just so you can go into your other link to have this in the grave. That comes up kind of for time, or just to negate a monster attack. Access code for game and do heavy damage. Celine to go into the access code. Hockley Firebrax to go into the Valor, to go into the Celine, to go into the access code, or you can pretty much bring out any tuner, by the way. This is to get rid of problematic cards, not just Dragoon, and sometimes you just need to go into a link 3 that you can actually use to beat over stuff in certain situations, and for it being 25 that comes up. And the Nightmare Phoenix, I don't like discarding cards in this deck. I don't like banishing my own cards in this deck outside of Widow Anchor, but having this card to be able to blow up Floodgate just in case you don't see a Pank or something comes up, because it's easy to get 2 monsters on board, or just to take one of your opponent monsters, and one of your monsters is going to this to get the card off the board comes up. So makes sense to play at least 1 Phoenix by cutting 1 Hayate. So I like people doing that, so I can do that too. Other than that, Yu-Gi-Oh! Vendor signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile, and I should be having more content on the way. Look forward to that, and leave any comments below, and like, comment, subscribe, and share.